If you're thinking about moving to London in 2026, the hardest part usually isn't picking a house. There's lots of inventory to choose from. It's picking the area. Because London doesn't feel like one city. It feels like a bunch of different cities stitched together, and if you choose the wrong pocket, you can end up loving the house, but hating the day-to-day routines. So in this video, we're going to walk you through the top areas of London to consider for 2026 across different budgets and different life stages. Not the most expensive equals the best, and not this is ranked number one. Just real options and the kind of person each area fits best. You're watching Community Real Estate Group London and Area Living, where we share expert real estate tips and neighborhood insights to help you move forward with 100% confidence. Now, before we get into neighborhoods, here's the quick mindset shift that saves people a lot of regret. Most buyers start with a price range, and then they shop the entire city like it's one big menu. That's how you get very, very overwhelmed. A better way is to start with your non-negotiables first. Do you need highway access? Do you need a bigger two-story with a double garage? Do you want mature trees and older full brick homes? Do you want new construction and a modern layout? Do you want to be close to certain shopping or schools? Once you answer that, the best areas become obvious. Let's start with a part of the city I often point to people when they want newer construction in the city, but they still want a very livable day-to-day setup. Southwest London around Lambeth. Geographically, it sits in the southwest, and what that really means is real life is easier to access in and out of the city and a straightforward drive to major routes like the 401 or 402. For a lot of families leaving the city or relocating into that region, this matters because you might be commuting or you might have families spread out across southwestern Ontario. The other reason this pocket keeps coming up is convenience. You've got big box shopping nearby and you're not far from major retails like White Oaks Mall. If you're the kind of person who wants to be able to run errands without turning it into a full day, then convenience matters. Now, schools matter to a lot of families, and I want to be careful here because best school depends on your child and your priorities. But if you look at Fraser Institute report card data, the Lambeth area tends to show strong scores compared to the provincial average. You can check it out for yourself on the Fraser Institute school ranking site, and the point is not to obsess over a number. The point is that this area is consistently on the radar for families who care about that piece. If your 2026 plan is new build options with modern layouts and a southwest location, Lambeth belongs on your shortlist. Now let's jump to the other end of the city for a very different feel. Northwest London around Sunningdale and the broader Masonville area. This is where a lot of people end up when they want that North End lifestyle with shopping close by and a mix of established streets and newer development. Masonville is a major hub for amenities, and Sunningdale sits nearby with a lot of demand. If you like being close to the kind of shopping corridor that lets you do groceries and errands and dinner without thinking too hard, this part of the city is built for that. There is also ongoing development in the Northwest, including projects marketed under names like Sunningdale Crossing. If you're looking at 2026 specifically, this is one of those areas where you'll see builders actively selling plans and lots, and it could be attractive if you want a modern home and you want that Northwest location. The important thing with any build is understanding what is included versus what is an upgrade, because marketing photos are often showing upgraded finishes. So if your theme is newer Northwest London, close to everything, you're generally looking in this zone. Now let's talk first-time buyers and best value, because this is where people get trapped by a myth. They assume value means cheapest. Not true. Value is what you get for the money and how the area holds up over time. If you're buying your first home in 2026, you want an area where you can actually live your life and also feel good about resale later. That often means looking for an established neighborhood where the streets make sense and the homes have functional lots and the daily drive to work and school and groceries isn't a constant irritation. One area that comes up for that conversation is Northridge in northeast London. It's an established pocket with a mix of housing styles, and it's very close to Fanshawe Park Road, which gives you good connectivity. On the school side, it's also one of those names that shows up with a solid score in the Fraser Institute data compared to the provincial average. Again, that doesn't make it perfect, and it doesn't replace visiting the school boundary and talking to the board, but it's a data point, and it's a very useful one. The why behind this pick is simple. If you buy in a neighborhood that buyers consistently search for, you typically have more options later when you sell. That matters when your first home is a stepping stone, not a forever home. Now, if you're a buyer who wants something a bit newer, but you still want to stay in a price band that feels realistic, you're usually looking at townhome heavy pockets that were developed more recently, and Riverbend is one of those areas people look at. The trade-off is usually this. You get a more modern layout and less renovation stress, but you also often give up some lot size, and sometimes you're attached. Neither is right or wrong. It's just knowing what you're choosing. Now, I want to talk about a classic option that keeps showing up for first-time homebuyers and downsizers who want a mature area. Byron is well known for proximity to green space like Springbank Park and for a more established feel. The housing stock includes a lot of brick bungalows and older builds that have been renovated over time. What people love about these homes is usually the lots and the trees and the neighborhood feel. What people need to be realistic about is that older homes can come with more ongoing maintenance. That's not fear, that's ownership. Roofs, windows, furnaces, grading and drainage, and sometimes the stuff you don't see on a very pretty listing photo. So Byron is a strong choice if you want that established feel and you're comfortable owning an older home and you want to prioritize lifestyle and parks over having everything brand new. Now let's shift to families who need more house. If 2026 is a year you're moving because you need more bedrooms and a bigger layout and you're done feeling crammed, the question is, where are the nicest homes? The question is, where can we get the same space we need without sacrificing the day-to-day? That's where the Masonville and North End conversation comes back, because you've got a lot of larger homes built in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s in pockets around that area. You'll see more traditional layouts with formal dining areas and separate living rooms and larger lots compared to some newer subdivisions. If you like that older style where the main floor isn't one giant open room, you'll often prefer these streets. Southwest London also has options for larger two-story homes, depending on the pocket, and newer builds can offer those family-friendly layouts too. The best move here is deciding whether your priority is a newer build with modern finishes or an older build with more lot and a different style. Now let's talk bang for your buck inside the city, because not everyone wants to be in the highest price pockets, and you shouldn't have to be. Cedar Hollow in northeast London is one of those areas that gets attention for offering newer housing relative to some older neighborhoods while still being connected to major roads. If you look at community resources like Neighbourhood London, you'll see Cedar Hollow described as a northeast neighborhood not far from Fanshawe Lake. It's the kind of pocket that can make sense when you want space and a reasonable commute, and you want to stay in London rather than going outside city limits. Now let me tie all of this together with a simple way to make your decision without going down a rabbit hole. If your focus is brand new and southwest access, start your search around Lambeth and work outward. If your focus is northwest lifestyle and major amenities nearby, look at Sunningdale and the Masonville corridor and keep an eye on northwest development projects that are actively selling. If your focus is first-time value with established streets and sold data points, look at northeast pockets like Northridge. Then compare it to areas like Riverbend, depending on whether you want newer townhome style living. If your focus is mature trees and parks and older brick homes that feel like a neighborhood, look hard at Byron and be honest about upcoming maintenance. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but what about Komoka or Thorndale or Lucan or Exeter? Those could be excellent options too if you want small town life with a quick drive into the City of London. But the right choice depends on where you work and how often you want to be in the city and what kind of day-to-day you want. Are you thinking about where to live in London in 2026? We'll help you narrow it down to the right areas for your budget and your lifestyle so you just don't buy a house, you buy the right day-to-day routine. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe to Community Real Estate Group London and Area Living for more expert real estate tips and neighborhood insights. Are you ready to take the next step? Visit communityrealestategroup.ca. We're here to guide you every step of the way.